Good evening. Hello there. Welcome to something completely different. We are heading towards to the San Marino Grand Prix 1984 in the rFactor 2 club at Overtake. Now, for the entire month of February, Overtake is doing free racing, because usually we have a subscription that you pay to be able to join us on the server for racing. But now, for the entire month of February, everything will be free. So try to bring more people in, see how our little friendly group is. So let's see, we are currently 15 drivers on the server. How many is signed up? I think it is 17 drivers are signed up, which means that there is currently 2 drivers that we are missing. That might also be some signed up with maybes. So yeah, qualifying is supposed to start at 9:15 Central European Time, which is in 2 minutes. And for anyone who has been in the who has been in the rFactor 2 club at Overtake before, there is no surprise seeing Dan Rock at the top, because Dan is really fast. Leslie Burlage in second, Michelle van Lieshout in third, and C. Elliott in fourth. I think that is one of the admins. Hi, by the way, Hugo. Fun that you want to join this as well. Now, I could, of course, do this. Let's see, how is the qualifying session in this race? It's a 10-minute session. So we are gonna have we are gonna have a proper regular qualifying instead of the Super Bowl that we usually do on Thursdays. Hello, Kitty. Hi. Hi, Trunky. Do you want to go out? Go out? Joined by a cat. You maybe want to go out. I'll be right back. Yeah, getting the cat out to go out was, yeah, well, need a little bit of herding to do that. Now let's see. It's been a while since I used this overlay thingy for this the last time. So I'm trying to find the the settings that I want to have. What if I click this one? Oh, maybe. Oh, sorry. If I click card data, what do I get? What do we get now? Okay, so that's right. Good. Now if I click onboard with Edward, then we go. Ooh, nice. If I click onboard again, okay, that's the onboard camera that we get. Unless I move it around to. Yeah, no, that was a good camera angle. Edward, which is the race admin in these single-seater Mondays. So let's have a look at the race itself. It's a 30-lap race. Oh, okay. That's also a way to enter the pits. No, as I said, it's a 30-lap race, and it will start roughly at, well, it's supposed to start at 21:29 Central European time, but I see that we are a couple of minutes late with qualifying, so I guess it will be starting a bit later too. And there we have the other cat that wants to come out. We'll go outside. Right, we are moving into qualifying. I don't remember who is who. Okay, so Dan is still in the pits. Yeah, no, the other cat wants to go outside too, so I'll be right back again. I probably should have written this down, the best lap time in practice. 1:28 something? Well, right now we have 14 cars on the server. So we have lost one more since we started. And we have 10 out of the 14 cars is out on the circuit. We're currently looking at Christian Kempf. Now if I am... Not that I usually am smart, but let's find the entry list on the phone. So I have that in handy. Because one thing is the names. Well, we only have 16 drivers on the sign-up list right now, so one has signed out. I should have had two. Oh, someone's spinning. I should have had two Legers, but I can only see one of the names on the server. Well, anyway, the one that is currently fastest is Edward Rocket, who's just put in a lap time of 1:21.744, and that's already been beaten by Christopher Elliott with a 1:25.660. So the admins is up in the front in qualifying. Christian Kempf did put in a 1:27.210, which is the third fastest. Pretty close between him and well, it's 3/1000ths of a second between Kempf in 4th and Casper Witt in 5th. Steve Legale in 5th currently with a 1:27.226. Willemarius Myhrvold put in a 1:31.129, and Pat Eaton with a 1:38.540. Those are the times on the board currently. We have let's go to Michel van Lieshout, who has a purple second sector currently. He's a bit behind on the first sector, but he has put in the best second sector of anyone on the in the second sector. He's around the corner and slots into third position with that. 1:25.811. Leslie Bullard, purple sector 1, personal best sector 2. What can he do coming out of the bus stop chicane thingy? And goes into pole position currently with 1:25.485. That's 0.175 of a second ahead of Elliott, who in turn is 0.084 ahead of Edward Rocket, who is 0.067 ahead of Michel van Lieshout. So it is pretty tight. Let's see. Speaking of Michel van Lieshout, he has put in a purple sector 3. Oh yeah, no, he's already out on a new lap. It's a purple, purple sector 2, so currently fastest in sector 2. And Dan Rock slots into big off. Yep, big off there for Michel. And Dan Rock has slid into second position on the rankings with a 1:25.650. Now I don't know if this is if this will be the pace that we'll see from the cars on the in the race too. Or if this is qualifying with a bit higher boost and a bit more of a push. And then it's a bit slower on the first sector of this lap. And we're 15 drivers on the server now because Danilov has joined us. He's the second Ligier. Dan Rock with a purple second sector. Fastest of anyone there through the bus stop. And across the line into pole position by 0.011 seconds. I love how tight this is. It is half a second between the top 6. Ooh, struggling with the H shifter. I would have gone with paddles then, just to be safe. You don't want to explode another engine on an rFactor car. So who else is out on a lap currently? Ferenc Pastor is starting a new lap. It's 35 seconds on sector 1, so that's 10 seconds down. Scott Deacon is out, 24.8 on the first sector, so that's not too bad. 32.1 on the second sector. Still not too bad. It's not quite the pole position tempo, but that doesn't look too bad. Through the bus stop. Across the line into 9th position. Just a 10th ahead of Steve Legale. Now this, I mean, top 12 so far in qualifying is separated by 1.7 seconds. Hi Bequeathed, yeah. Well, this one was decided on a whim. And I knew that I wouldn't be driving today in this race. So I figured why not live stream it. Try to seem semi-professional. Okay, we got a purple sector 2 from Michel van Lieshout, who is through the bus stop here. And across the line and goes fastest by half a second. And we've got a new second position in Elliott. Christopher Elliott into second position with a 125.397. So Michel van Lieshout has the pole position currently with 125.016. It's 20 seconds left of the qualifying session. I don't know if these are V8s or V10s. I'll have a look at that in the warm-up. Now, is there anybody else out on a hot lap? Well, we could go to Ole Marius Myhrvold. Who is the fastest of the Norwegians? Because the Norwegians are 13th and 14th at the moment. And do forgive me for not knowing the names of the corners on this track. .9 in the second sector. Oh, and a big jump across the bus stop, and that might be an invalid lap. Or maybe not. No, across the line. But that wasn't in the end faster. That was just behind what he had as his best lap time. And that leaves only Scott Deacon running currently, and he goes across the line and improves. So up one position to 8th and for Scott. So that was a hectic session. So pole position then to Michel van Lieshout, ahead of Christopher Elliott, Dan Rock, Leslie Burlage, Edward Rocket, Ferenc Pastor, Christian Kempf in 7th, Scott Deacon in 8th, Pat Eaton in 9th, Steve Legale in 10th, Kreshnik Khalili in 11th, Kasper de Witt in 12th, Ole Marius Myhrvold in 13th, and Joachim Skalstad in 14th. Those were the ones who put in a lap time, a valid lap time. And we have then Daniel Oof in 15th and Simon Bacon in 16th. That will be starting from the back of the grid. Now let's see, set starting order, that's that button. That might be... Right. Sorry. Well, I've written somewhere that it's the Formula 1 1979 cars, but that's wrong, it's the 1984 cars. Well, the engine sounds are 1.5 liter turbo, but the Alfa Romeo is a V8. So I guess this will be V8 cars. Man, there is a lot to keep up with in the in a qualifying session like that. So much easier when there is a Super Pole and it's just one lap instead of a full 10-minute session. Right, so what we currently have now is we're in the race session, but we are doing let's go on board the Casper wait. We're doing a call it a sightseeing lap if you want. Warm-up lap like in real life, really. Just before the race starts, everybody goes out from their respective pit box and go around the track and find their spot on the grid. Reconnaissance lap is the word I'm looking for. So the timer will start and you have 4 minutes to exit the pits and drive around the track, unless you want to start from the pits, of course. Now, as we see, the drivers can elect to go through the pits and do another sightseeing lap, do another reconnaissance lap. So you can go through the pit lane and continue for another lap. But at the end of the 4 minutes, the pit lane will close, and from then you have 2 minutes to continue your lap and line up on the grid. And then when you are parked on the grid, then you are set for the race. So if you park at a slightly wrong angle or something, then you're doomed, I suppose. Now, I have driven quite a few number of laps on the modern or current day Imola circuit. So some of these chicanes really are a bit unfamiliar for me. So let's see, are Casper going to... Oh yeah, I forget, there's this bus stop at the end of the lap. Oh, he enters the pit for another reconnaissance lap. If we go trackside, or maybe even, oops, if I... okay, now I'm lost in the forest. Where's the track? Where's the track? So we have people lining up on the grid there. Can I get to a camera closer to the grid? Yes. Does it? No, there's no timer on the board there. That's the wrong button. Which one was down again? That's down. So people are coming through to get to their starting positions on the grid. Now this is cool. The good thing about this mod though, or this way of doing it, even though you go straight out of the pit box and onto your spot on the grid, you won't lose any more heat in the brakes or tires or such compared to those who have driven the lap. However, you will have more fuel than those who have, well, depending on how much you're starting with, of course. So, last car is coming through, and that is Casper. V6 turbo, okay. No, there is another one coming up there at the back. Track side. And we're off. Michel van Lieshout with a good start. Really zooming away from the rest of the field. Well, Dan is catching back up towards the first corner and through into the lead with a lot higher pace from Dan Rock. Much higher speed. Here's everybody else in the background coming through. No, we have a car in the gravel. Somebody is backwards into the gravel, and that's Scott Deakin. Scott was unfortunate there, sliding off into the gravel trap. Currently looking at Edward Rocket, who is holding 5th position. And most of the field is pretty close together. Oh, there is a battle going on in the background there between Pat Eaton and Danilov. Daniel up to 11th position. Oh, somebody was standing by the side of the road. Oh, it's Christian Kempf. But we have both Mirval and Deakin at the back there. Oh, and more shenanigans in the final chicane. So Elliot had some problems there at least, but who else was in the gravel there? Pat Eaton, I think. Oh, side by side. Elliot lose a position to Edward Rocket there. So Edward has fallen down a bit. Steve Legalet up to 7th. Look at this, so much side by side and everything going on here. You know what? I'll put this on because I lose track of who is who. And Dan Rock is putting in some stellar lap times. He's already almost 4 seconds clear of Leslie Burlage in second. So Rocket and Elliot is pretty close together. Deacon and Oof is also quite close. Oh, almost a touch in the middle of the corner. Scott stopped the 13th. Is unfamiliar with Formula 1 cars in this regard. Deacon on the inside. Woof. Oh. Scott stopped through on Deacon. Will they get through on Oof as well? Hanging on the outside, but earlier on the brakes. Oh, and Scott is into the gravel again. Oh, and hard into the wall as Skalstad spins up ahead. Now does Scott get the car fired up and going again. Skalstad is having problems getting the car facing the right way again, I think. Looked like he was back on the track, but spun back around again. Yep. So we're in the battle pack here with Daniel Oof, Christian Kempf and Ole Marius Myhrvold. Oh, big switch from Myhrvold. So Oof and Myhrvold is the part of the race department, or the overtake staff. Oh, trying to go, no. Looked for a gap on the inside. There wasn't one opening. Dan Rock with another best lap time of the race with a 1:28.001. 5.3 seconds clear of Leslie Burrage now. So Oof is parking the bus on the apexes, so it's difficult to get through. There is a position switch that I've missed up ahead. In all of this, let's go to Elliott and Rocket, because they are... I've seen them switch positions 3 times already on this last lap. And Crash is just behind them there too. Mandatory Ferrari spin, yeah. Edward has gotten a little bit of a gap now. But this is still the closest battle we have, or closest drivers we have in the grid or on the track currently. With Elliott in 8th and Crash in 9th. And as I say that, up ahead, Steve Legalin is catching up to Casper de Witt. Battle for 5th position. We're already 5 laps into this race. 5 out of 30 laps. Well, to be honest, I don't think there will be any pit stops through all of this, but you never know. I'm also having a look at the battle between Elliott and Crash for 8th position. They're also quite close together. Christian Kempf is 0.6 of a second behind Daniel Oof. Maybe we'll go back to that battle because Daniel Oof is having a little bit of a train currently with Scott Deacon joining up at the back there as well. Oh, that's a blown engine. That did sound, it looks like a blown engine for Daniel Oof in the middle of the chicane. Oh, and Myhrvold passed Kempf but spun. Just caught the tail end of that. So Simon Bacon and Pat Eaton got past too. Everything is happening all at once. This is really hectic stuff. Should have had an extra pair of eyes on this. In the background, Eaton and Bacon they were further apart than I thought they were. Let's move up, because Scott, it's really close on to Christian Kempf now. Looked like I had a better exit, but can't really make the most out of that. Then we move up further into the field, but Edward Rocket on the inside of Casper de Witt. There was a gap, but that gap was closing. It looked like maybe Casper didn't expect the attack to come there. And this has played into the hands of Elliott, who is then just 8 tenths behind Edward again. This is exciting stuff. Now, I haven't really looked at the top 3 in the race so far because they're too far apart. They're too good, too fast. Dan Rock is currently leading by 9.4 seconds to Leslie Burlarge in second. Michel van Lieshout in third is 14.4 seconds down. And the French Pastor in fourth position is 19.7 seconds behind. So there's quite some big gaps opening up. And we have the closest battle on the track right in front of us, with Elliott closing up again to the gearbox of Rocket. Another 2 of the Overtake admins. Oh, good draft for Elliott down into the last 290 degrees. And he spins. Collecting each other slightly side by side and into a spin. This puts Crash up past into 8th. And Elliott then down to 9th position, but he gets back out again ahead of Christian Kempf. And Christian Kempf and Scott Deakin are pretty close together now. 0.8 of a second in between those. Between those two. At the end of the lap. I say that this is the closest battle on the track, but it's not, because Edward Rocket is back up, closing into Casper de Witt again. Now that he has his, he doesn't have anybody chasing his. Oh, big wiggle from Casper de Witt. No, Edward is not fast enough there. Doesn't have enough straight line speed to get up alongside. But this has closed the guys even more closer together. Now let's stay with these for a little while. I click this one. And current speed. And I looked away for a little bit, and then Casper did disappear off the track. Oh, he's still not gone back onto the track there. Back out in 11th position. That's unfortunate. So Scott Deakin then still edging on ever so slightly closer to the back of Christian Kempf. Oh, big, big speed advantage through, but he has the outside into the hairpin, but that doesn't matter. He's far enough ahead to get through. Good move. Now, can Christian Kempf come back though? Looking, but not quite close enough to go on the inside there. We're 1/3 of the way through this race already. And at this rate, I won't be having any voice to talk to anybody at work tomorrow. Well, it looks like Scott has made the gap, made it work, and moved far enough ahead for Christian to not be in the slipstream. And it is a bit annoying that these are the closest to we have on track currently, because now everything is everyone is spread out a bit more. But there has been something happening up front, because Dan Rock is now second. From a commanding lead, Dan Rock is now down to second position. I haven't caught this. It's been like this for a couple of laps too. Because the last lap they did, both Leslie and Dan, they were putting in 29, both of them. Now this lap, Leslie Burlars has put in a 1:28.6, which is his personal best of the race, but Dan only managed a 1:40. So has Dan ruined his tires with that big push at the start of the race? He might have done, you know. Because he is seemingly losing ever so slightly on every sector time on the track, on the lap. Dropped 0.6 in the first sector. And then they were pretty much equal on the second sector. Huh. I have no idea what happened there. Let's go on board with Leslie for a lap then, and I'll shut up and let you enjoy the sound of the car. Oh, that's off. And we have another lead change then. As Dan Rock goes back into the lead Dan was indeed faster on the last sector on the previous lap. Look at the closing and the braking, but that might have been... I don't know, he managed to stop it. It felt like that was a bit too late on the brakes. Oh, and it's off. Doesn't spin. And we had a pit call in Joachim Skalstad. He's just been in the pits and come out again. I suspect with a new set of tires. Quite a big gap here from Leslie up to Dan, but we can join another battle between Ferenc Pastor and Michel van Lieshout for third position in the race. Just 4/10 in this one. Ferenc has been quite a lot faster on this lap. It's been 1.5 seconds faster on the first 2 sectors. And lost a little bit in the final sector. Still 1.2 seconds faster on that lap alone. Oh, and he spins. Locked up the rears, going into the hairpin, and then the gap is back up to 6.5 seconds. But this has sent Steve Le Galley a lot closer in from the back. And Casper de Witt is in the pit lane. And dropped down to 14th position. And Dan Rock has put in on the previous lap the best sector 2 of anyone in the race. And open up the lead again to 3.7 seconds. We are currently looking at the closest gap on the track between Steve Le Galley in 5th and Ferenc Pastor in 4th. And Edward Rocket then in 6th. And of the 3 of these, Edward is the fastest one over the last lap. And he is also the one who has the fastest lap in the race of these 3. But that being said, Pastor was a second faster than Edward in his first sector of the lap. So it is ebbing and flowing a little bit. And we have Leslie Berlange was in the pits from second position and came out again in third. Oh, so maybe that was what put Dan down that from that commanding lead. It was the pit stop. Maybe everybody needs a pit stop in this race. I thought 30 laps would have been short enough for sure to not have to do a pit stop, but maybe I was wrong. Yep, Ferenc is moving away from Steve a little bit. They're catching up to Leslie, who's come out on cold tires. From what it looks like, so still getting up to speed. Not that much in it. 130.8 from Wesley and 130.0 from Ferenc. Never underestimate the power of a turbo era Formula 1 cooking its tires. No, that's true. That is true. They might actually have to go in for another set. And those new tires are really working for Leslie now. That was a fastest sector of anyone in the first sector, the purple sector and sector 1, and he's only 1.5 seconds behind Michel up ahead, and he took almost 2 seconds out of Michel van Lieshout in that first sector alone on this lap. .8, so that's another half a second on Michel on the second sector. As we have Skalstad in the pits again from 15th position. Oh, yeah, okay, fine. It looked like he was about to spin through that last corner there, Leslie. And he puts in his best lap time of the race with a 1:27.958, and he's only the second driver of the race to put in a 1:27. Everybody else is on a 1:28 or 29 from what I can tell. And now he's all the way up on the gearbox of Van Lieshout. There was a slower car up ahead. Is that somebody being lapped? Maybe? I think so. Christian Kempf is in the pits from 10th position to put on a new set of tires. I think it's the speed in the display to the left on the in the dash of the car. 150 kilometers an hour into the first part of this bus stop. That was a 130 for Leslie this lap. Oh, and straight past. Straight past Michel, like Michel was standing still. And it almost bins it then at the exit of the hairpin. So making good use of those new tires. 19. Yeah, insane speed differential indeed. That was... He could really carry a lot more speed through and out of the corner compared to what Michel could. And in the background, Ferenc Pastor is closing in on Michel van Lieshout, so I think Michel's tires might be... they might be done for. And yes, Michel comes into the pits to do a tire change. And Christian Kempf is also in the pits again. It's not that long ago that Christian was in. And the pit speed limit isn't 30 kilometers an hour. I can tell you that for sure. Yep, 2/3 of the race is done. It's only 10 laps to go. And the gap in the front again is 13 seconds from Dan Rock down to Leslie Boulage. But that being said, Dan did a 1:35 on the last lap, and Leslie did a 1:28. So I was thinking maybe that was with a pit stop for Dan, but I don't think it was. No, I have no idea. No idea. Who haven't we looked at? Let's follow Pat Eaton for a lap. We had 2 retirements, by the way. Both Joachim Skalstad and Kreshnik Khalili has retired out of this race. So it's 3 DNFs out of 16 that started. Oh, lost connection. Oh. That is annoying. That's an annoying way to go out of the race. Because I did spot that we had a yellow flag somewhere, but I didn't quite catch who it was. No, Mirval was dropping down some time, so he's done something funky out of the last chicane. Look at Steve just zooming past. Almost looks like Mirval is down on power. Let's see. Simon Bacon is another one who we haven't really looked that much at this race, so let's go on board with him for a while then. Yeah, I should have joined you on the Discord, but then I wouldn't have. then this stream would have been without any other sound than the cars. And Edward has, on the last lap, he did his personal best lap, by the way, in the race with 1:28.0. He put in a purple second sector, a middle sector on the track, so that's the fastest anyone has been on that sector on the track this race. And it looks like Leslie in second position is slightly faster than Dan in first right now with the gap was going down ever so slightly. So Ferenc Pastor in third, Steve Legalet in fourth, who is Michel van Lieshout, who has dropped down to fifth. Could have been the his last pit stop of the race, because he was well over a second faster than Steve on this last lap. As a matter of fact, Michel is only 2.7 seconds behind Steve. He's closing in. Well, it's caught up 4/10 in the first two sectors. Yeah, well, that is 0.8 of a second on that last lap. So the gap now is down to 2.4 seconds. That is currently the closest gap we have on the track. That being said, Casper de Witt catching up to Simon Bacon for 10th is also 2.3 seconds, so that gap is also getting narrower. Well, Simon has done something, because suddenly it's only 0.6 of a second. Is Simon feeling the pressure? Looks like that Renault is a little bit faster. Has a bit more speed. Aggressive maybe over the curbs through the bus stop. Oh, Simon is off, so that makes it very easy for Casper de Witt to get back up into 10th position. Simon didn't get the chance really to put up a fight there. As oh, careful now. Was it Simon who came back? very quickly there. Looked like it might have been in the blind spot of Casper. I do wonder though whether or not the tires of Simon's car may be starting to lose grip a little bit, as Michel van Lieshout is getting ever so close to Steve Legale here. Now we're under a second between these two, and Steve did put in his best lap time of the race the previous lap with a 1:28.900, but that doesn't help when the guy behind him does a 1:28.569. So the gap is coming down rather rapidly, and we are on lap 27 out of 30, so we are very close to the end now. Now how will this unfold with just 3 laps to go? Michel in the draft of Steve. Steve goes to the outside and just lets him through. That wasn't much of a battle. And once Michel was through, it will just pull away. Because Michel has put in his fastest first sector of the race, sorry. And Myhrvold in 13th has put in the very fastest third sector of everyone in the race. He did a 1:27.758, which is the second fastest lap of the race actually. Major flat spots, I can imagine. There were some different tires on these cars compared to how the modern tires are. Now the gap between Edward and Scott there was for a short moment of time well underneath 1 second. That is because Edward spun or did something strange on the second sector, because he's lost 15 seconds to Scott there and the position in the process. Ferenc Pastor has dropped down from 3rd to 5th. 33.3 on his first sector. That is, what is it, 7 seconds slower than Steve had behind him. And we have a new fastest lap of the race from Ole Marius Myhrvold. He's done a 1:27.190. So he's just been in the pits and put on a new set of tires to go for that fastest lap of the race. And he has gotten it. And the gap up ahead between Michel and Steve has closed right back down again. It's half a second now. We're coming up to lap Simon Bacon, as they are about to embark on lap 29 out of 30. Now, these guys also need to be a bit careful, because Ferenc Pastor is coming up behind them. He's always closing big time in the braking zone. So this will go from a 2-way battle to a 3-way battle within just a couple of corners. As Michel pulls a little bit of a gap through the chicane. And Ferenc Pastor is all over the rear end of Steve Legalay's car. Look like a little bit of a lock-up into this chicane. And Simon Bacon is putting in his best Sector 1 and Sector 2 of the race. And out onto the final lap. A big slide for Ferenc in the background, so he drops down a little bit of time. Steve is just 2/10 behind Michel. Big slipstream battle. But is it enough to get by? It doesn't look like it. Tries to go around the outside through the hairpin, but that's... Oh, he does it! He does it. We got a terrible camera angle for it, but still not over. Side by side. Van Lieshout on the inside, Legalay on the outside. They touch. Legalay out on the gravel. Saves it from spinning. But that's a position lost for Legalay. Well, 2 positions. He was up ahead for a little while there. And Pastor is now all over the rear end of Van Lieshout. We should have cut across to Dan Rock. Go! Pastor goes through. Van Lieshout spins. Legalay spins. Pastor spins. Everything is happening on this last lap. Or have we just started last lap? Am I counting this wrong? Pastor is still third after that spin. Legalay is fourth. Van Lieshout is fifth. It's Myhrvold who is in the background there trying to unlap himself in all of this. Yeah, now they're starting the last lap. Pastor third, Legalay fourth, Van Lieshout fifth. Or was... No, that was the end of the race. It is me who's miscounting this. Right. Getting it all wrong. Right, so we have then Dan Rock is winning the race by a considerable margin. Leslie Burlage in second, Ferenc Pastor in third, then after that magnificent battle over that last lap. Steve Legalay in fourth, Michel Van Lieshout in fifth, Edward Rocket in sixth, Scott Deakin seventh, Christopher Elliott eighth, Pat Eaton is ninth, Casper de Witt is in 10th position, Simon Bacon 11th, Christian Kemp 12th, Ole Marius Myhrvold in 13th, who just jumped up to 12th. Why did he? Leslie Burlage just got disqualified for some reason. Well, let's continue. Kreshnik Khalili is, well, 14th with a DNF. Joachim Skalstad in 15th and Daniel Uff in 16th of at the end of this. Still don't know quite why Leslie was disqualified, but that's just the way it is. Man, that was hectic to follow. That was a little bit different than the Peugeot 106 in RBR. Yeah, I can imagine that. Right. Well, there we have it. Now, it's not always this hectic in the Overtake Racing Club in rFactor 2, but it quite often is. And we are back already on Thursday with another race in the in the rFactor 2 Club with the Fiat TC850 at Pittsburgh International Race Complex. And as I said on the top of the stream, every race in rFactor or in at Overtake, in the Overtake clubs currently, regardless of the game, whether it is rFactor 2, Assetto Corsa Competizione, Automobilista 2, everything is free to join for the month of February. So if you want to join us and try and see how this is, then feel free to join us. Because we do post races on... well, we do have rFactor 2 races on Mondays and Thursdays. Usually single-seaters on Mondays and some historical content on Thursdays. Right, so I think I'll end it there. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. I hope you had as much fun as I did, because this was a lot of fun to watch. So do enjoy whatever is left of your Monday, and I'll catch you all later. So take care and goodbye.